Welcome to Helping Hands. This is the program where we look at the people who make the world a better place. Coming up today.
We use green waste that we can to feed the worm farms. We have a reused rainwater tank. Sustainability and reusability is really important to us.
We spend some time at a community garden.
The helicopter parent, the lawnmower parent, the tiger parent.
The panel talk about different parenting styles. And we invite you to connect at helpinghands.tv. Gardening is one of Australia's favourite pastimes, attracting people of all ages, cultures and nationalities. People who like to grow their own fruit and vegetables, and people who are more interested in blooming buds and flowers. In just a small backyard, members of the Thornlea Community Garden plant seeds for fruit and vegetables and grow friendships along the way.
This is our Thornlea Community Garden, and we've been going for six years, nearly 6 years. And it was just a thought I had as I was retiring that just reach out to the community and help people. This is just an ordinary suburban backyard, like anywhere in Australia. We have, we've got a main road out there, and we've got plains overhead, and there's building next door over here, a new house. And so if you've got space and keenness, you can do a community garden really anywhere. It's learning with other people that is one of the big pluses of a community garden, and enjoying what we grow.
Seed, and there's another one exactly the same size hanging off the fence.
I'm proud of them.
Yes.
I'm so happy. When we were first setting it up and making the beds, Kathy got a wheelbarrow and made sure that she could go in amongst them so that if we needed to get a wheelbarrow to any particular bed, there was room for that to happen. Yeah, it was a fun, creative time, actually.
Morning, Sue.
Oh, morning, Kathy.
Hi, Sue. How are you?
Kathy. Good, thanks. How you doing?
Got morning tea
Oh, looks good.
and some egg cartons for you too.
Oh, thanks.
I've been here since the garden started, helped with setting out the beds and things. And one of the things I love about the garden is that we don't use any herbicides on it, which means that we get the beneficial bugs. So we've got lots of ladybirds here at the moment. They're all on this leaf here. There we go. There's a yellow one there. We've got orange ones as well in the garden. Now they've come because there's some mould on the leaf. They're cleaning up the plant. They're like vacuuming the mould off. And so that's good. So we want that because then we're not having to use pesticides to get rid of it. When we come into the garden, we always try and have a look around, and if there's damage on any leaves, we try and look underneath and just see if there's something eating them. All the yellow ladybugs are good, but if there's an orange one, we need to check because they can be dubious. If they have 28 spots, they're a bad orange ladybug and we have to get rid of it. And that one doesn't. So it's okay.
Well, what we have growing here, this is zucchini, and this is a chilli, and these are eggplants. This is a small eggplant, this one here. Lettuce we have going all the time because they're easy to grow. Now this is a tromboncino, and Sev brought some seedlings along, and we put them in and use the seeds, and we've got this one, and we had another one over there which we've just taken out. But they're a zucchini, a squash zucchini, and you just cook it like an ordinary squash, but they're rather gorgeous, aren't they?
But do you want broccoli?
Actually, I think in one of those punnets there might be 2 broccoli, so they could go in the new one.
I'm Sevda, and I've been here for 6 years. I needed somewhere to garden because my backyard is small, and I've been doing gardening since I was a little girl. Mum taught us how to eat off the land, and we grew everything, and we ate everything off the land, and how I know how to garden. I'm going to plant a spinach. So we take a seed and then we'll just make a little hole, throw the seeds in, cover it up, get our cup and plop it on top. And put that in like that and done. Once it germinates and it starts to grow, it will be protected so then the slugs or the snails don't eat it.
Yeah, if we had the cups there, we could see where we've planted the seeds. Other places I saw on gardening, they use toilet rolls. So just cut the toilet rolls in half and put the seeds in, put the toilet rolls so they can see where the seeds have been.
Yes, it is about the gardening and the growing plants and eating lovely fresh vegetables, but it's also about the community. Building each other up, and for people who are a little bit isolated, it's a place where they can come and just feel welcome.
After the break, what it means to have a green thumb.
We want to see the flowers. The flowers are just as important as all the vegetables and fruit. I love here is that they use everything that's here. It's a lovely continual cycle. It just keeps going. I'm about to put these are calendula heads. This is a calendula flower, and so when that flower dies, then you've got the seeds, and we want these seeds. We want to just scatter them because this will come up like a meadow, and this is lovely for bringing the bees in, which will then pollinate all of the other produce that's in the garden. We want to see the flowers. The flowers are just as important as all the vegetables and fruit.
I'm making our potting mix, and it's a mixture. It's 2 parts of the mushroom compost, and then it's 1 part of coir, which I've already got nicely wetted up. It comes in a big block, and then you put water with it and it puffs up like this. Okay, so 1 part of that, and then 1 part of vermiculite, which helps to keep it all light. Every pot here has this potting mix in it. This is good therapy, this is. The community garden's been running since June 2017, and over those years we've had some people here who've been coming the whole time, and there are some who have only been here for a few months. And we've got keen gardeners like Sev, who grew up on a farm and has always lived with a lot of plants and gardening, and so she loves to come, and we rely on her a lot. So there we are, there's the secret mix, and as you can see over the garden, everything seems to grow really well. We've just got a new pot down here that Howard's just bought us, and I will will it down there and we'll put it into there. As I said, this is my exercise. Okay, anyone like to come and help fill this new pot with this lovely potting mix? What did you say, Kathy? The fig tree might need more? Yep. That's a good idea. Would you like to do that then? Yep. I might have to make some more. It probably is not going to fill this, is it?
Sue has a secret potting mix recipe that she uses. She researched it for ages, but everything flourishes and grows really well, and it's really organic too, which is great. Whenever Sue goes in the shed, I know she's cooking up a brew, and she's probably got the secret ingredients in there. We try to be sustainable as possible. Sustainability and reusability is really important to us. We try and recycle and reuse as much as we can. We use green waste that we can to feed the worm farms. We have a reused rainwater tank that someone helped us install. We can harvest water off the roof. All comes down into that, and we have never run out of water yet, so we can water the whole garden with rain tank water. And that's part of our sustainability and of us trying to be really environmentally friendly with the garden.
My name is Jackie Wong, and I've been with the community garden for 6 years. We have everyone coming in daily to do the watering. And what we do is we actually water down the roots so that the water actually is absorbed by the roots. We avoid watering the leaves because when it's very hot and there's water on the leaves, it will burn the leaves. To keep the moisture in, we have this sugarcane mulch. When it's dry season, we have to water often, and if it's in the winter, we just keep like every other day, or
Part of my idea from the beginning was to help each other and myself to learn how to live sustainably and use our own gardens too. People might come here and learn a bit about gardening and then be happy to go back and start their own garden in their own home.
If you are a helping hand or would like to see a helping hand from your local community featured on this program, visit our website and be in touch. We'd love to hear about the people and organisations across Australia who are making the world a better place.
Isn't it good to see the connections and friendships that come about through people having a common interest? Visit our website to find out more about the Thornlea Community Garden and perhaps consider starting one in your local area. Welcome back to Helping Hands. This is where we celebrate the people who make the world a better place. Our panel today joined Laura Bennett in the studio to discuss a topic close to many of us: different parenting styles.
Thanks so much for joining us. With me on the panel today, we have Warwick Marsh, the CEO of Dads for Kids. We've also got Justine Toe from the Centre for Public Christianity and psychologist and teacher Colette Smart. Thank you all so much for being with us today. Colette, I want to start with you. You see so many different parents in your line of work. Is there a typical or normal parenting style?
What's normal? I think families have personalities, just like the individuals in a family have a personality. So it's going to look very different in every home, depending on your background and so on. I mean, we hear these styles thrown around: the helicopter parent, the lawnmower parent, the tiger parent. But we actually go back to 4 parenting styles that comes from somebody called Diana Baumrind. And the 4 parenting styles we look at are authoritarian. So authoritarian is my way or the highway. What I say goes. I'm the boss. You don't have a say to the children. The parent is, I call it the parent, or call them the parent. It's the permissive style, where parents are trying to be the cool parent. They want to be their child's best friend. The child kind of makes all the rules. And then we have the neglectful, that speaks for itself. That can be both physical or emotional. And then kind of the gold standard is the authoritative parenting style. And that's when there's a lot of warmth and love, but also boundaries. You need love and you need boundaries for children to feel safe and secure.
So how do we determine the best parenting style for us to use?
Well, we know that the authoritative parenting style, regardless of ethnicity or background, is actually the style that we see the most well-adjusted people in their adult years. When we talk about boundaries, we usually will have a few that are kind of the set boundaries in our home, and those are non-negotiable, and those will change depending on your child's age or stage. There's some in my home. The one non-negotiable is sleep times, but everyone will have their own. But really, it's about truckloads of love as well, and your child feeling as though they have a voice, not that they can, make the rules in the home, but they have some kind of voice in the home.
Yeah. And for you, Justine, what have been some of the biggest influences on the way that you approach parenting?
Well, I'm liking what I'm hearing from Colette, number one. I also really appreciated doing a Circle of Security parenting course when I was a younger parent. And they had this great 2 words, no nonsense parenting. That's 3 words, actually. But I love that because it's like, I'm the boss, but I love you so much, and that tenderness, you need that to come through. But at the same time, I do like a bit of nonsense as well, just a little bit, But if it's bedtime, no, that's it.
Yes, the no nonsense, and you talk about being the boss. The boss doesn't mean punitive. The boss means a child has someone who's going to give direction. We all need someone who's going to lead us and guide us in some way, and children especially, they need us to model that in healthy ways.
Warwick, we've got so many different kinds of parents that we'll be watching, so many different household makeups, whether it's single mum, single dad, there's couples. How do you know if the way that you're parenting is working?
That's a really good question. Possibly we don't. The bottom line is, the generations will tell the story. There's a saying about what a father says to his children will be heard in the whispers of time as the children grow up. And it's the same for a mother too. What a mother imparts, that wisdom, it will be seen down the track. I love what Colette said about truckloads of love, and also what Justine's been talking about, this balance of the authoritarian and someone who gives unconditional love. So children need unconditional love. I always remember Dr. Bruce Robinson, who's a good friend of mine. He started the Fathering Project in Perth, Western Australia, and he talked about the 3 keys to being a good dad. And I think it's the same for being a good mother, a good father, a good parent in the broad sense, is number 1, make your child feel special, right? And if you don't, who will? And it's so important that you do that and, gain your children's love. Make sure you listen and, give your child unconditional love. Children need unconditional love, and that's a hard thing at tea time or going to bedtime when there's a riot happening and everything else. But somehow that we've got to push through with love. And there is a tension between the authoritarian parent and the sort of the very loving, lay down, sort of do anything parent, and the truth's always in the tension.
I don't think anybody's all authoritative all of the time. I think there's times when, as a parent, I do sway to be more authoritarian, and then I'm apologising and I'm modelling, I'm sorry. And then there's times when I'm too permissive, when I'm just keep watching that show because I'm exhausted. And so I think it's about just your overarching parenting style that we're aiming for that balance.
Like you said too, you talked about personalities. The reality is that each of us have got different personalities, each 4 of us here. We're going to express that differently to our children. All of our children are all different. Have you got that experience? Tell me about your children.
I've got 3 children, and I've got 2 boys and a daughter, and my 2 boys are as different from each other as they are from their sister. Absolutely.
Would you say, Justine, there's some red flags that maybe you are aware of when you're parenting to go, I might have got that wrong, I probably should adjust? Are there things that indicate that?
As soon as my voice starts getting really loud, which it does normally, but there's an edge of violence, I would say, to it.
Tone.
Then that's too far. The crazy thing is to learn to keep your cool, and it's the hardest thing to do in the moment. So sometimes when there's like a riot, as Warwick says, and it's crazy at home, it's so strange. But if I'm managing to kind of keep my cool and to just be that, just hold the line, but very gently and lovingly be like, sorry, we can't do that. I know you're really disappointed, but this is what we're doing. Yeah. And the quieter my voice is, the more impact, would you believe?
Thank you all so much for your contributions, and thank you so much for watching as well.
If there's a topic that you'd like to see discussed on Helping Hands, visit our website and be in touch. We love talking about the things that make the world a better place.
There's no doubt that the many parenting styles that exist work for different people. And when it comes to parenting, I think it's important to focus on your strengths, consider the needs of your children, and to be forgiving of yourself. I would love to hear what you think and invite you to share your thoughts with us and the Helping Hands family. We all have passions and interests that we can share with others. Whether it's through gardening, sports, arts, craft, and perhaps our parenting styles, connecting with people who share our interests or who are at the same stage in life can lead to positive and uplifting friendships that help to lighten our load.
Let us know about the helping hands in your local community at helpinghands.tv. Send a photo or a short video and tell us about your local heroes in 25 words or less.
Special thanks to Laura and the panel, to Sue and the Thornley Community Garden, and also to you for joining us today. I'd like to encourage you to follow Helping Hands on social media and to subscribe to our mailing list on helpinghands.tv. See you again next week.